Hey, thank you all for doing this. I understand I'm the last interview of the day. What's the question you got asked the most today? Can anyone answer that?
Well, they're all somewhat similar. I mean, they're all sort of based on the movie, so there's lots of interesting variations that you guys come up with, and we try to match those.
Yeah,
a little variety.
That was very well said.
Well said. Well, congratulations on making a movie and it coming out, because let's face it, more than half the movies that people write don't come out. And this is a very gripping thriller. They call it a teen thriller. Is that fine to say teen thriller, or is that pejorative?
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I think it's whatever people take out of it. That's what entertainment is, right? It's all subjective. So.
Well said. Well, I'll throw my first question at Jessica. Jessica, where was this movie filmed, and had you filmed there before?
So most of it, well, it was all filmed in Los Angeles, but a lot of it was actually filming in Los Feliz. That's where the shooting happened, and that was really lovely for me because I lived in Los Feliz at the time, and so I could walk to set.
Wow.
Home if I had a break. It was really lovely, and just shooting in Los Angeles and the film being based there, it does give a sense, because sometimes you're filming in Los Angeles, but you're actually in Atlanta. But LA definitely has a vibe that I'm sure we could all feed into while doing the film.
Was that the first time you'd ever been able to walk to a set or a job before?
No, actually. It randomly in my hometown in Vancouver, Canada. They shot at a house like down the block from my parents' house, and so I was able to walk to that set.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Cameron, same question at you. I'm assuming you did not walk to the set before. Had you filmed in Los Feliz before?
I carried it. The way transportation worked is that we only had a few cars, so Jessica took one, and I carried Cameron.
Piggyback style.
It's in my contract. I need my own car, so yeah, these guys have to buddy up and figure their way out to Los Feliz.
Well, in terms of piggyback riding, I mean, you do have to be in shape to do that, and we do see plenty of running from you in this film. Were you always a runner? And that is not a pun based on the movie being called The Runner. It's just sometimes you take a role and you go, ooh, I don't do very much of that. Time to learn blank.
Yeah, I wasn't very much of a runner by the time we shot that. I wasn't very physically active. I just lost a lot of weight, so it was less on the healthy training side and more on the unhealthy side, I guess.
When you do a crash of sorts like that, do you then reward yourself for a couple of weeks after the shoot?
I mean, I did that. I did that for a long time, and I think it even took longer for me to get back to it because I've gotten so used to the lifestyle that I had prepped for when we were shooting it. So it took a while, but sure, yeah. There were times where I went too far. I took too many desserts, and I realized one way or another I had to slow it down.
Well, when The Runner 2 happens, you'll get revenge on the the process and all that. But Cameron, how much prep was needed for you for this role?
I mean, I think for me, that's how I go into any situation feeling comfortable and confident, is by doing the preparation and doing the work that I need to feel confident when I show up. So yeah, I started, there was a lot of rehearsal that I did with Edouard and with Michelle. And I'm a big fan of rehearsals. I think you can still, bring that sort of fresh feeling to set, even having had a fair amount of rehearsal. So I'm a big fan of that.
Jessica, same thing, rehearsal. Are you, and feel free to say, no, I disagree. Do it once or do it right, that kind of a thing. Are you a big rehearsal person?
I am a big rehearsal person. yeah, rehearsal is everything because it gives you an idea, it takes some anxiety, you kind of commit to wherever it wants to go, you know, you're comfortable in your character's skin. I didn't have any because once they got filming, it just like flew off. They were like running, going. And so a lot of it had to just be between Edouard and I, like, hey, like, want to go for lines quickly. But that also can be nice too, because you can be you don't have something stuck in your head and you can be spontaneous in the moment. Michelle gave us a lot of freedom to kind of play around and just be natural and like live in your body, which is always the most fun with acting. It's like doing a play.
Sure.
I remember me and Jessica, we talk a lot too. We talk a lot right between takes, but also we do the rehearsal and then just chill and just be, you know, look at the other person, and that kind of just cooled it down while everyone else is running around. So that you could just, you never had to turn it off. You could just kind of keep it a little flowing and then you go right into it. That was fun.
It's good to hear that it's a cast of people that got along. When you have a film that's intense and serious like this, something that I'm curious about is, are there a lot of laughs once they say cut? Are people able to relax, or are there a lot of method people around that go, you know, this is my profession, the film, therefore don't address me by anything else, and no laughs?
I mean, I think I'll speak for only from what I saw. I think first of all, the crew were great because they were able to do both. And it all comes from a place of respect,
Sure.
I think, because it's not an easy subject, and they, so to say, get to go home, and at least in my case, it wasn't really the case. You know, you kind of go home with it just because I was in that physical state and you were deprived of a lot of things. But yeah, there was a seriousness to it, and there were times and specific scenes where very much whatever the actors felt were, or on my side, whatever I felt was I wanted or needed, I would do, and then you just go with it. But I remember a lot of times whenever Cameron was on set, I tried to poke at him as much as I could. So the second it was cut, it was finding a way to mess with him pretty much, and that took it, you know, that kind of pressure and stuff out as well, because you bond that way too.
Cameron, do you remember it that same exact way, or are we straying the line here?
It was horrible.
No, I had a really good time with Edouard. But to your question, you know, yeah, there are times when levity is appropriate and it's good, and we all need that. Everybody's working hard, and it's good to have a laugh. And then there are times where you want to stay more serious. So I think for me, anyways, it's just finding that nice balance.
Sure. Well, The Runner is the latest project to be released from and for all of you, but working the rounds before I let you all go. Jessica, you first. Are you allowed to say what's next or what's coming up for you, or are you under all these embargoes, the Hollywood Reporter and the Variety embargoes, and my agent will kill me if I say this? Are you allowed to tell me?
There's something that I'm working on in a couple of weeks that I can't, but there is something coming out later this year called 100 Lies. And it is a very similar premises to The Runner. It's good. I like how I'm kind of keeping with theme. I play a friend to a drug dealer. It's like what you manifest, you kind of bring towards you when you concentrate on something. It comes in bulk. So that's what's coming out soonish. I think it'll do the festival scene, and you know.
Hurry up and wait. Wait for
name of the game.
Exactly. Edouard, when I look at your IMDb, it says Napoleon, it says Get Lost. So there's stuff coming out whether or not we're allowed to know about it. Can you tell me what's next for you?
Well, exactly that. I'm excited for to see that all of that myself, and I've seen some snippets, and I was obviously there, but it was some great and fun stuff, and I'm hoping, just like all actors, I'm hoping to have work towards the end of this year if everything goes well with it's like a few more steps darker than The Runner, which is kind of another indie weird movie. So yeah, I'm sticking with that strangeness. I like it.
Keep the darkness coming. And Cameron, are you allowed to say what's next?
Yeah, one foot in front of the other. I did a movie called Wire Room with Bruce Willis last December, and I think that should be coming out at some point this summer or early fall. And working on a series now in New York, and just hopefully gonna keep it going, man. Just marching down the field. I'm also keeping my fingers crossed for a project right at the end of this year, called Blood Knot, and so we'll see how it goes.
That's really great to see that everyone has things to look forward to. The last question I'll ask, and I'm not asking what the number of it is there a group thread from this movie that is still going, or group threads?
Is there? I don't think so.
That's maybe I'm not much of a thread guy myself, but we definitely are staying in pretty close contact with Edouard, and it's certainly a pleasure to see Jessica, and really the cast and crew on this film, with the circumstances and the pressure and all the stuff that we were contending with was remarkable, and I think that's a big reason why the result was what you saw.
That and the piggyback rides.
That was number one. That was personal until now, but I guess it's out in the open. So piggyback ride. To and from set.
I'm going clear. I'm letting it all out.
Well, thank you all for your time, and looking forward to whatever is next.
Thank you so much, Darren.
Paltrocast.